Namaste. In the Naama Geetha series, we are enjoying Lord Sri Krishna's various names in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we are now in the episode where Janardhana is being discussed, where Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna as Janardhana 6 different times. In this episode, we will talk about the 6th time when Arjuna is addressing Sri Krishna as Janardhana. Before we move on, let's visualize a situation. There are 4-5 professionals who are discussing. They are talking about a very large conglomerate, a company which is spread far and wide across the globe. And one guy says, I know the director of finance, the CFO. I can get anything done on finance in this company. The other guy says, I know the entire the unit within the supply chain or the purchase team. So any vendor who wants to get onboarded, I think I can handle it. And one guy quietly says, guys, I know the chief executive. I know the entire board. Okay, the chief executive and the chairman of the board. So let's visualize this and park this separately. We will come back to it when we discuss more on Janardhana. Janardhana, in this episode, we are looking at the 11th chapter, the Vishwarupa Yoga. The 11th chapter in Srimad Bhagavad Gita is all about Lord's Vishwarupa and the way Arjuna is enjoying, if you have to say, the unique feature of seeing Sri Krishna in its entire form, the Vishwarupa. So 11th chapter, 51st Sloka is where Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna as Janardhana. And Vishwarupa is like, have to use a common term. We all see the sun, okay? Let's assume that we are going to watch the sun in its peak at 12 noon. Can we see it beyond few seconds? Probably some can see for few minutes. That is one sun, few minutes at a distance so far away, we are not able to focus on the sun so closely. And Sri Krishna here in his Vishwarupa form can be loosely equated to a Koti Surya, a 1 crore sun at the same time looking at you. Can we ever stand that kind of gaze and kind of brightness? But Arjuna is able to see again by the divine grace of Sri Krishna, where Sri Krishna blesses Arjuna with the Divya Shakshus, a divine vision of seeing himself in his Vishwarupa. Now the Vishwarupa form is everything. Arjuna sees Lord in an entirety. There is no start or there is no end, and so many forms, so many features within the form that he is just amazed. So he is actually awestruck with Sri Krishna, at the same time trembling with fear. He says, hey Krishna, this is an amazing sight that you are given. Thank you for this. I am blessed. But can you come back in your normal form, where I can converse with you and see you more pleasingly? So that is on Krishna again smilingly says, okay Krishna, I grant whatever you ask because I am Janardhana, and shows himself in the Chaturbhuja form, the 4-armed Krishna form. So that is what happens in this part. So the sloka goes like this at the 11th chapter.
Drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana idanimasmi samvrittaha sacheta prakritim gataha.
Hey Janardhana, such Saumya Rupa you have, so pleasing, so pleasant. I can keep seeing you all my life. And you know what? We all of us seek everything to you. And Janardhana, as we saw in the earlier episodes, is one who is looked up to, who is prayed for, asking for something in return. I want a good job, I want some money, I want to get married, I want to get this, I want to get that. We all go to Janardhana. Just like that, Arjuna also went to Sri Krishna as Janardhana and first requested him for the Vishwarupa form, and then requested him again to come as the normal form in the Chaturbhuja. So Krishna gives everything that we ask for as long as we have the Bhakti Bhava. We saw that in the earlier episode. Patram, Pushpam, Palam, Toyam. You offer me anything but with Bhakti. The intent is important. As long as we approach Sri Krishna with pure Bhakti, the devotion, he is always with you. He is going to give you whatever we ask for. But having said that, we don't know what we ask for, right? Sometimes, for example, if I ask that make me Prime Minister of this nation tomorrow, he may still give, but am I worthy of it? Can I handle that position? Can I do that at all? So he tests you, he molds you. That is why we saw the tough love in the earlier episode. He gives you a lot of opportunities, he tests you, he molds you, prepares you to something before he gives you whatever you ask for. We have to equate this to Narsimha Avatar. Again, we saw tough love in the earlier episode. After Hiranyakashipu was killed and Narsimha was more cool, Prahlada approaches Narsimha and says, give me only one boon. Narsimha says, I can give you anything you ask for because you are the most true devotee I have ever seen. And Prahlada asks only for one thing. He says, ensure that I don't ask you anything. I just be at your service, that is all I want, is what Prahlada is asking, and that is how we need to be. While Krishna is there to give everything to whatever we ask for, the important fact is we should not go and ask him anything, because we should take everything as his blessing, because he is giving everything to us. The tough times that we may go through are the tough love shown by Janardhana to mold us to something bigger that is ready to give it to us tomorrow. So let's pray to Janardhana and always ensure that we seek his divine feet rather than asking for material benefits, but be sure you will get everything, because Janardhana will also mean, Jana means the Janma, Ardhana means one who destroys the life. Destroys the life means he's going to kill us? No, the life is a cycle of birth, death and rebirth. We are all born in this cycle. We are born today, we are dying tomorrow, we are again reborn day after tomorrow. This cycle will go on, and that means, are we happy to be with this? We are happy as long as we get the same kind of birth. How do we know that the next birth is going to be the same way? We can be born as an insect. We can be born as somebody who is impoverished in a country where there is no wealth at all. It could be anything. We could be born like anything, we won't know. And the very important fact is, in this birth, we are super blessed to know about Sri Krishna as Janardhana. What if the next birth we are born where we don't even know who Krishna is? That is the saddest birth that you can ever have. So the Krishna, when you worship him as Janardhana, destroys the cycle of birth, death and rebirth and ensures moksha. What is moksha? Liberation, as English says, but moksha is much bigger. The bliss of being in eternal service and breaking the cycle of birth, death and rebirth is your moksha. You are with Krishna, doing eternal service in eternal bliss, not being worried about day-to-day pluses and minuses that we go through today. So that moksha can be granted only by Sri Krishna as Janardhana. There is a sloka which says, Arogyam Bhaskarat Ichet, Dhanam Ichet Hutasanat, Ishwarat Jnanam Ichet, Moksham Ichet Janardhanat. What it means is, if you want good health, pray to sun god, Bhaskara. If you want a lot of wealth, pray to Agni, the fire, the energy. If you want jnana, good knowledge, worship Lord Shiva. Okay? And moksha, if you want liberation, then worship Janardhana. Moksham ichet Janardhanat. Only Janardhana can give moksha. Now let's go back to those friends who were discussing, whom they knew about a CFO, who knew about the entire supply chain team, and a person who knew the CEO, the chairman of the board. If I know the finance director, and if I know the CFO in a large firm, I can get some things done regarding the finances. Or if I want a job as a finance expert, or I want somebody to be recommended for a role in finance, my connections will help. If I know, if I'm running a small scale industry, or if I'm running a services company, knowing the supply chain head or the head of purchase will help me, because I can onboard myself as a vendor. But if I know the CEO or the chairman of the board, I can get done multiple things. Equate this to this. If Janardhana can give you moksha, then your current day's wealth, current day's health, current day's knowledge, everything can also be given, because moksha is the ultimate. If the ultimate can be given, the rest will also be given, which you don't have to say it specifically. So worship Krishna as Janardhana and you will be granted moksha in the afterlife. But in the current life, you will be blessed with all the wealth, knowledge, prosperity and good health. Sri Krishna as Janardhana is always with us to give all these things. Vishnu has, we all know the Chaturbhuja, right? He has the chakra, Sudarshana chakra in his hand. He has the Shankha Panchajanya in his hand. He has a mace, the Gadayuda, and he also has a lotus. This four hands has all these four different things in his hands. You will be surprised that if you look at a picture, there could be differences. The way Mahavishnu handles this Sudarshana Chakra, Panchajanya, the mace, Gada or the lotus, it may be in different hands in different photographs. What it means actually, the scriptures say that there are 24 different forms that Vishnu takes, and these forms can be identified by the way he has the chakra and Sudarshana chakra, the Panchajanya and the mace and the lotus in different forms. It goes through a permutation and combination, 2 in the upper hand, 2 in the lower hand, and what goes into it. If you want to worship Janardhana, if you look at a picture, and how do you know if it is Janardhana, is because if you see the upper hand, right hand has the Sudarshana chakra and the lower hand has the lotus. The upper left hand has the Panchajanya, the Shankha, and the lower left hand has the Gada, the mace. If you see this picture, this form is as worshipped as Janardhana. A similar form is available in a temple in Kerala called Varkala. Varkala is a place which is closer to Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala. In Varkala, you will find Janardhana form, just with a minor difference. In the hand, instead of lotus, he also holds it in a way that we perform Achamanam. Achamanam is a process of purification ourselves when we do a lot of rituals. He also keeps it in that form more to teach us as to how to keep it. So, this is a form of Janardhana, and Janardhana's greatness is also told in a Mangala Sloka in Mangalyastavam. The sloka goes like this.
Janardhanam bhuta patim jagadgurum smaran manushya satatam mahamune drishtanya sheshan yapahanti sadhayati ashesha karyani cha yanya bipsati.
So once this sloka, if you recite and if you understand the depth of the meaning in it, it actually summarizes all our discussions to say that Janardhana is everything. He says, once you penance on Janardhana, who destroys the cycle of birth, death and rebirth, he is going to give you all the blessings, all the good things in this life and afterlife. So it also says, whenever you do anything, think of Janardhana. Particularly in southern part of India, we have a particular day called Akshaya Tritiya, where we buy a lot of good things or invest in land, gold kind of things. The sloka says, just think of Janardhana and do this investment. Up in the north, we have Dhanteras around Diwali, which is also an auspicious time to buy gold and buy piece of land, property and all that. To do that, thinking of Sri Krishna as Janardhana, we will be blessed with more wealth, health and happiness, and very importantly, the cycle of birth, death and rebirth will be broken. Let us think of Janardhana, recite Sri Krishna's names. Namaste.
Madhava Achyuta Krishna Hare Rishikesha Kesava Govinda Vasudeva Bhagavan Janardhana.